am Tejaswini Patwardhan, founder of Open Minds Productions. Let me ask you a question. What does it take to bring about a change? Thinking differently? Yes, definitely. But more than that, making things happen. We are coming up with a series called Bheed Se Alag, in which we shall meet people from different walks of life. People who have made a positive impact in the world around them. People who are part of the crowd, भीड़ का हिस्सा, पर फिर भी भीड़ से अलग. Tracing its roots to 2nd century CE, Bharatnatyam is the oldest classical dance tradition in India, yet one of the most popular in today's times. In this episode, we have with us Dr. Suman Badami. She has received fellowship from the Ministry of Culture for Research in Dance and has also completed her PhD in Aesthetics from Mumbai University. She was a member of UN International Dance Council and has been running a dance school in Mumbai called Natya Vimarsha. Today we shall discuss various aspects of Bharatnatyam and how does it connect with modern society with her. Welcome, Suman. Thanks for being here.
Hi Tejaswini. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your Bheed Se Alag series. Thank you.
Suman, my first question would probably be the most logical and most asked. What are the challenges faced, if any, for an Asian dance form like Bharatnatyam connect with contemporary students and audience?
Yes. So the most vital thing that the artist looks for is that connection with the audience. Now, I would like to just not use the word audience and go back to a term that is used in our classical text, which is called Sahridaya. Sahridaya actually is a cultured audience. Talking of a very idealistic list of things that the audience should have, who is well-read and sensitized and empathetic and is able to connect to the emotions. But whether we have that ideal situation or not, during the dance performances in the temple, the audience who would go into the temple was very much aware of what he was getting into and would really be able to identify that this is a medium for a higher expression, for a higher experience. Similarly, in the courts of the kings, he was always able to relate to the songs in praise of the king or the mythology, the powerful stories. So there was actually no gap. But now spectators, yes, we do identify, we do understand the allegory, but there is some sort of, a boredom, maybe sometimes with the same thing being given again and again. So now it is the job of the artist, the dancer, to find new means, to find ways to bridge that gap between the artist and the dancer and the spectator, and find in a way to present traditional repertoire. Also, look for contemporary themes, bring it within the format, the framework of Bharatanatyam and present it. See, again, the audience identifies firstly with the visual that is so, eye-catching, but then the emotion, the bhavas is what attracts him. Then the intensification of that emotion that you are watching, the portrayal of Rama or some contemporary character, you don't know that person in reality, but you feel a very real emotion. So the heightened emotion is our joy, the aesthetic pleasure that we get. So how does it matter whether it's mythology or real or unreal? It all connects to the emotion, right? So we need an audience who is willing to make that, to bridge that gap, and of course the artist also has to find new ways to present the traditional repertoire.
Right. So probably as Natya Shastra wanted it to be, it has to be a mix of entertainment and education. It has to educate or enhance experience of audience in some way.
Absolutely right.
Bharatnatyam is also is called a temple dance form. So is there an religious aspect to it as well? A religious aspect?
See, the Natya Shastra, yes, gives divine origins for the art form, but at that time probably it needed to be that way because the practitioners of the art could not follow the Vedas, the system. They were not allowed to. So this was positioned as a fifth Shastra, a fifth Veda, and so gave it a shroud of dignity. Yes, the stories were about mythology and the four Purushartha. So there was that background of religion. But it really became very deeply involved in the medieval period with the great temple building activities, the Cholas, the Pandyas, and then later on the Vijayanagar kings, and then the Tanjavur Marathas. That the temple became the place for dance as a ritual, and the dancers were the patronage of the priests, the temple priests, the kings. This is what sustained the dancers, and so the land grant system of the kings. So dance became a part of that, the temple rituals, and part of the king's court as well. Today we don't have that patronage of neither the temple nor the court, and so we can't really call it a temple dance. And we must understand that that hereditary dance form of so many generations came to a complete halt with the independence and the repositioning of the dance form. The traditional practitioners did not practice the dance form after that, and it came to us as an appropriated, reinvented art form. And yes, we have the Nataraja idol on stage, we do the Pushpanjali, we do the Kautvam. These are all dances from the traditional temple repertoire. We try to link it to that tradition, but this is not that, we are not that. And now there's more effort to bring back those performances of those temple dancers, which we sort of lost along the way in this whole repositioning. So probably we could say that the dance form is like a temple structure. You just get so dazzled by the towering gopuram, the vimanas, and then they enter the temple, the sculptures, the pillars, walk around, but your primary aim is to enter the sanctum and have that one-to-one with the deity, and that is what the focus should be. So maybe in that way we could say it's today a temple dance. I'm just sort of comparing it to a temple.
When you were explaining all of this, my biggest takeaway was that Bharatnatyam or dance is also probably a medium through which Vedas or knowledge, for that matter, reached masses. It was
Absolutely.
a medium through which knowledge was to reach masses. And,
a medium of instruction, yeah.
And probably, most of the protagonists in these dance forms were also females. So can they be called feministic per se, using modern parlance?
Yes, no. There are so many feminists who say, why do we perform these lovelorn heroines all the time? Can't we think of anything beyond the Sringara Bhakti motive? But let's understand why that came. Before the Bhakti period, it was all about human emotions, a whole range of women, beyond the classification in the text, in the Sanskrit text. There's a whole lot of more number of classifications, the Tamil text also. And then there was this whole Bhakti period during which the Shaivism and the Vaishnavism concept of the world being female and then yearns for a union with the male, which is the God, the ultimate union, brought this whole Sringara Bhakti combination to the forefront beyond all the other emotions. And why not? Today we can take a contemporary look at the women today, or go back to more valorous stories, different kinds of women. But let me tell you one thing, there is a beauty to the padams and the javalis of the heroines. We just need to present it, understanding the subtext and the suggested meaning of the poet, and read a lot about it and present it in a way where, we are sort of, in that song she says, last evening on the river bank, this woman was trying to catch your attention. You were looking totally smitten, and I was standing right next to you, and you just couldn't care. Who was that woman? Or, there's another Javali which says, I'm not afraid of any of them. Let them talk. I know they're all gossiping about me. Let them talk. I have nothing to hide. So these are all timeless emotions.
Right.
So why not? It's not a museum piece. Very much feelings that are prevalent now, but yes, the focus need not be on just these pining heroines. Definitely, I would agree with that perspective. Yeah.
What do you think are the psychological benefits of dance, of learning dance, of performing dance, all of that?
Psychological benefits. So when you are having a sort of mind-body workout, then of course there is that whole dopamine release that comes with any kind of body activity, right? So that would be for the performer. But I would like to also talk about the psychological benefits for the audience, the spectator, wherein you leave your world of personal grief and sorrow. You just get into a parallel world, and the term that is used in our texts by aestheticians is alaukika. It is another world, but it is not unreal. The emotions that you are feeling are absolutely real. So when those emotions of yours get released, that is a great psychological benefit that you are having. It's therapeutic, but it is not your own intense personal grief and sorrow. So you will not succumb to it. You come out of it elevated, because this is a parallel, real, laukika world that you have entered and found release for your emotions. So psychologically, it's and of course now there's a lot of dance movement therapy courses all over. People finding that it is an add-on therapy for differently able people, medical conditions. So many new things that we are seeing in terms of dance being therapeutic and the psychological benefits.
Wonderful. You gave a very different aspect of how can audience benefit. That was a very different perspective that I got. You have been a dancer for decades now. So do you think there is any scope for experimentation within traditional framework? Can that happen?
Definitely, yes. As I told you, they are young dancers today, the top professionals are reworking traditional formats in a very creative way and presenting it. Definitely, there are contemporary works also being taken. Sometimes it is socially relevant to what, but it's not always the focus of art to give a social message. So it can definitely be used for conveying a social message as well, an art form like this. So as long as what is called auchitya, the term is auchitya, the correct balance, the Bharatnatyam framework, it's great material for choreography. So use that and present it in the right balance. Take any theme, not just Indian, you can take, any theme that has a powerful emotional message, something that would grip your audience attention, that would catch their attention. Any story would work.
This can just be a medium to show that kind of emotion or showcase it. Emotion can be universal, is what you are saying.
Yes. In fact, my teacher's daughter, she was part of a production with another very senior group about the adaptation of Jungle Book. And then she herself...
Wonderful.
Living tree. So you adapt books, you work with your musicians, and it's a long process of a year or two, and then come up with this production.
Beautiful. Thanks a lot, Dr. Suman Badami, for giving us a very different perspective on Bharatnatyam. How can one find right balance? How can ancient be still relevant in today's modern world? And what can we as audience and performers learn from this ancient dance form? Thank you.
Thank you, Tejaswini. Thank you so much. Lovely having this talk with you.